I'm SophiaVashell, and this is Track by Track through my EP, Blue Mascara. The first track on the record is What You Want, and this is a song that I wrote for one of my sisters, and the short version of me explaining this song is that it's about 21st birthdays. When I picture the song What You Want, I picture walking home from the club in your 20s, down the pavement, you're barefoot, you're carrying your high heels in your hand, and it's that kind of heartbroken aftermath of a relationship that you really wanted that the other person didn't. I love a simple chorus, and sometimes that's all you need. So what you want is kind of just stating that fact of you always get what you want, and then later on, why didn't you want me? Baggage Claim is a song about emotional baggage. And truly, it's a song about being an artist and, being friends with other artists. And everybody is taking our experiences with each other and putting it into our craft. So I picture Baggage Claim being this kind of trio of people, singing it from my perspective about these two other artists that I'm friends with and kind of saying, y'all were together, y'all aren't anymore, and you're both using the aftermath of your relationship to fuel your creative energy. And, are these things that are fueling these creative projects the truth or not? And it's kind of me saying, are you still the person that I thought you were based on the art that the other person is creating about you? And this one is somehow like the people's favorite song. It's the one that, if I ask someone what they thought of the EP, Baggage Claim is usually the one that gets pointed out to me, and it's the one that people request that I play the most. So it's been cool as an artist to kind of see, yes, I like every song on the record, but what is the one that most people like the most? And I think Baggage Claim is that song. The next song is Paper Mache Ghosts, an interlude in parentheses. For me, it was really important that Paper Mache Ghosts is an interlude for a couple of different reasons. One, because it is the shortest song on the record, and it doesn't really have a traditional structure. There's no real repeating parts except for that kind of main sentence, I make paper mache ghosts. There's no real chorus to it, so to me it felt like an interlude, but also because it is about an interlude in my life. I love the layering of guitars in this song. I played it all myself, and I was sitting in the studio just saying, add another layer, let me put something on top of it. And the bass line specifically in the bridge is like my favorite thing ever. It's the... And it's buried in there, but it's like my favorite part of the song. Like that little bass line is addicting to me. So listen to it, see if you can, find that part of it. The ending of Paper Mache Ghosts kind of says the same thing as the beginning, and it's, I make paper mache ghosts at my kitchen table. And then it ends differently with, if they all look like you, it's all just a coincidence, I swear. And while that line can be really self-explanatory, I really love it because it's kind of saying, I make art out of these past crumbled relationships, and if it all feels like relatable to you, who am I to say if that was you or not? If you feel like it's you, it probably was. Square One Again is the track that comes right after the halfway point of the EP, and it is chronologically the oldest song that I wrote for this record. I wrote Square One Again, I think when I was like 17, and it was right before I moved away for school, and it was, using that metaphor of moving for kind of moving through phases of life. There's a lot of imagery about moving boxes and selling a home and starting over, and I think that is what is really cool about that song. I am obsessed with the guitar layering on Square One again, especially in the intro. I think there's like 4, maybe 5 layers of guitar just in the introduction, all just kind of me playing, you know, things that I was hearing. And what's cool about playing songs in a studio and recording versus playing something live is when I play something live, it's me and my guitar, and like, you know, that's all I can do if I'm playing it. But when I'm playing it in a studio, I can have me and my guitar times as many times as I want. So all these layering and these things that are on the record are things that I've always heard since writing that song or any of the songs. I'm like, I've heard this in my head, and being able to translate that into a recording is kind of taking what I hear every time I play the song into a reality in a recording. I recorded all of Blue Mascara in the studio, and then when it came to production, I worked remotely with my producer a lot of the time, and so there were some things like these weird sounds that I added in Square One again, like packing tape and like scribbling on paper, that we literally were on FaceTime, and my producer just was like ripping, you know, packing tape into a microphone and like scribbling, and I was like, we spent probably like 20 minutes, I want to say, ripping packing tape and choosing which sounds were the best. And so while it sounds like just one, there's like 3 different rips in there that we like stitched together to make it sound exactly how I wanted it to. And that was like one of the most fun elements, because I kind of came onto this call where we were working on production, and I was like, so every time I hear this song, I hear the sound of packing tape ripping. Why don't we just put it in there? And we did, and I love that it's in there. And then in the second verse, we added that kind of sketching on paper sound, and that's just, again, my producer in the mic just sketching on paper, and it's literally what it is. Next song is Know You, which is a song that I'm so emotionally proud of. I wrote this song beginning of August 2023 and thought it was done. I wrote it all in one sitting, and it was one of those songs that just sort of felt like came to me. I didn't think too hard. I was just sitting there playing those 2 opening chords over and over again, and I was just sitting there, and I have some of this on voice memos, I think, but I was just sitting there playing these 2 chords, and I started humming the melody, and then the lyrics just sort of came out, and I just started singing practically the entire song, definitely the first verse. And what I love about Know You is it has that simple chorus, kind of like What You Want, the first track on Blue Mascara, is just that simple phrase, I want to know you. Because sometimes you can't say anything better than the truth. I want to know you. You don't have to make it so convoluted. That's the crux of the song. That's the thesis. That's the truth. And I wrote that whole song in one sitting, August 2023. And then I was about to get into the studio beginning of January 2024. And maybe 2 weeks before that, so like December of 23, I was playing through and practicing songs for, you know, getting into the studio and making sure that I had everything exactly how I wanted it. And I had thought that Know You was done from months ago, and suddenly I was playing it again, and I was like, there's something missing, there's something more that I have to say about this song and this situation now. And so I wrote the bridge 2 weeks before recording. I didn't originally have a bridge, and now that's one of my favorite parts of the song. I want to know them now, I want to know who they're going to be, and I want to know who they were before I met them, and all the experiences that brought them where they are. I love the bridge because it takes the thesis of the chorus, which is I want to know you, and it makes it even more specific. I want to know the way you wake up in the morning. I want to know how you lace up your shoes. I want to know these dumb little things. I want to know all the songs that you love and the ones that make you turn it to mute. And literally sitting in the car with somebody, and a song came on that I knew that they didn't like, so I just automatically skipped it without thinking. And I thought, wow, how cool is it to know someone that well that I know what songs that they would skip in the car. And that started the bridge. The vocal on the bridge of Know You is super fun because it's all these layered harmonies, and I came up with that like literally I think the day before or the day of recording that. And I have all these layers in my notes app of like, this is what it would sound like layered. And then I went in and I just, you know, kept saying to my producer, one more layer, let me add another. That's kind of how a lot of this record went, was me being like, one more layer, like I have ideas here. And so that was really fun to play with in the studio, and I love the way that it sounds now, all those harmonies. No You is one of those songs that really captured a moment for me, and so I hear that song and I think of the moment that I wrote it about, which is something that's between me and that person, but I love it, and I'm really proud of it. It was important for me to have the title track be the last track because I want you to earn it as a listener. I want you to get through everything and be like, why is this called Blue Mascara? You have to get to the end of the record before you hear that song. I wear blue mascara every day, pretty much. It's the only mascara that I have. I do have a purple, that's a lie. I have purple mascara, but I only wear purple mascara on special occasions, and that's my like natural looking mascara. You have to get really close to somebody in order to see their eyelashes enough to know that they're wearing blue mascara. And there was a period in time when I kind of first started wearing it in college that, you know, I had a couple of times where people would be like, oh, are you wearing blue mascara? And I'd say, yeah. I'd say, that's so cool. What's cool is that I started wearing blue mascara because my mom wore it growing up. She would always tell me I wore blue mascara all through 7th grade. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to do that. And she's told me, I mean, I don't know if it's still true, but she did tell me that Blue Mascara was her favorite song of mine. So I think it's cool that it's, you know, sort of inspired by the fact that I wear blue mascara, which is because my mom wears blue mascara and it's her favorite song of mine. Blue Mascara is one of those songs where the chorus does repeat, but it changes each time. And it's, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. As soon as we entered, we still went inside. The second time, it's, there was a light at the end of the tunnel. As soon as we entered, I still went inside. And changing that pronoun from we to I feels really important to me because, you know, Blue Mascara at its core to me is kind of about entering a relationship where you can already see the end. You know that it isn't gonna last forever. And you go into it knowing we're having fun, we're gonna see each other in this moment, but you know, we're gonna part ways eventually, and we both know that. And the second chorus really kind of says, I knew that and you didn't know that. You thought this was forever. You always thought that one day we'd get married, going back to the first verse. And I always knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel, that this was gonna end. Yet in the first chorus, you know, talking about this rooftop in Soho and how you saved me from falling when I could have died. And for me, this is this Halloween party on a rooftop in Soho where, you know, it's that rom-com meeting. It's like, you saved me from falling off the roof and we locked eyes and like, that was the start of this. And then the second chorus says, you know, the dress was a rental, get off at my stop without saying goodbye. Now we're talking about the subway and kind of, I think, the way that people leave each other's lives in New York when they're hanging out, if they're both taking the train. I live there and I see people on the subway that are friends and they get on the train together, but they have to get off at different stops. And the goodbyes are always so abrupt. It's like, okay, the stop happens and someone just gets up and leaves mid-conversation sometimes. And so I wanted it to feel like this metaphor for abruptly ending a relationship. It's like one person's like, here's my stop, like, and they just kind of get off the train. The dress was a rental. To me, I picture that as a rental wedding dress. And what does it mean if someone buys a wedding dress or rents it? Like, if you rented a wedding dress, did you really think that this relationship was gonna last? Probably not. So I knew when making the music video for Blue Mascara out August 16th that I wanted it to be in New York City. I wanted it to feel like when you're in a relationship with somebody and you just take videos of them because you like seeing them, and then you break up and you still have all these pictures and videos in your phone, and you can just kind of scroll through and look at these moments that you had with this person. And that's what I wanted the video to look like. So we just made it feel like that by running around the city and filming all over the place. I, with the amazing Mitra Mateen, orchestrated the album cover shoot. We were, she styled me. We were sitting in the bathtub of her apartment taking these pictures, and then I got out of the bath sopping wet, and we literally walked around the streets of New York and into the subway station, still wet from the bathtub, fully clothed. And I thought, all this and I'm still not the weirdest person on the train. My name is SophiaVashell, and that was track by track through my EP, Blue Mascara.